Hello, welcome to the G.I. Joe New News Classified Reviews. My name is David T. Allen, or if you would like, Super Dave 817. If you would like to see more of this content, please like, share, and subscribe, and hit the notification button for future videos. Thank you and enjoy.
Hello, welcome to another episode of the G.I. Joe New News Classified Review. I'm David Allen, or if you like, Super Dave. Thank you, everyone in the chat, for joining me today. It's going to be a bit of a quick one today. I'm coming a little bit later. Sometimes I'll be doing these Monday night ones around 7 o'clock. Periodically, I'm going to try to go before Punk with Toys, so I'll interrupt his show. So we are covering a twofer today, and that is the Steel Corps Commander with the Twilight Guard, 141 in the classified series. And so there's a little bit of information about the Steel Corps Commander and the Twilight Guard I would like to go into first before we open these up. So the Steel Corps, I guess you can say, had a gold head Steel Corps in the early 2000s. I would say 2003, 2004, maybe even 2002. And so they did a redeco of the Steel Corps for the original G.I. Joe line in Hasbro in the 90s. And so there is the redeco of the Steel Corps, and with his backpack there. I also have the patch there, which is kind of rare, and he has a gun there. So I don't know if all these things are the accurate things that go with him or not. They might not be. They might be weapon pack versions of him. So he was a much darker Steel Corps, a much more, I don't know, thought he was more gaudy with the color scheme, the gold, the blue, the green. I didn't really care for it that much, but it's become a very rare figure. These gold heads, they're much less common than the regular Steel Corps figures. Again, I have a friend that's a big aficionado of the mail orders and all those type of things, and he tells me about them. I don't know that much about them. But the gold head, he has a little bit of rub. He's a solid figure. He's sturdy, but he doesn't have all the paint on the head. So then the Twilight Guard, before there was a Twilight Guard, there was a Shadow Guard. Hello, Will R7284. Thanks for joining us in the chat. That's one of the rare ones there. Yeah, it is a rare one, definitely. For the O-ring line, it's one of the rarest figures, the gold head Steel Corps. So for the Twilight Guard, there was a Shadow Guard previously. They did, I think it was like a 6-pack or something like that in around 2005 during the Valorverse Venom era, and they had black Crimson Guards that had the helmets removable. A lot of the 2000s Crimson Guards had removable helmets. I don't know why Classified's not doing that, but they did not do that for any of their Crimson Guards that they've done thus far. And future releases, they haven't done it as far as I know. But the Shadow Guards all had removable helmets, and they were all black Crimson Guards. So they used that mold, that Crimson Guard mold. I do not have that set. I've been trying to get that set, but I haven't found it at a price that I'm willing to pay to get. But I do want to get it. So that's the two precursors to the Steel Corps Commander and the Twilight Guard that I would consider precursors to their figures. So let's see. So this artwork is pretty good. It just shows basically them in their the battle gear and their stance, ready to go. Doesn't do that much for me there. Hey, Lenny Honda, yo Joe, thanks for joining us this evening. We're coming a little bit late, but it's okay. Thanks for jumping on again on the chat. So then we have the Target artwork. the QR code to nowhere, and the designations. So we're going to go into the designations first. I'm going to check that out and see what they have for these guys. They're probably going to be pretty similar to their other versions. Terrence Childs, hello. Thanks for joining us in the chat today. Do you have any idea why they will not release a hooded Cobra Commander figure? Yes, I have an idea, but there's a little bit of speculation on that, Terrence Childs. So Bonaventura, who was a producer of the Transformers movies, and then was a producer on the GI Joe movies from 15 years ago or so. He was like, "There's no way we're gonna do that version of Cobra Commander in the movies." So after they did the San Diego Comic-Con release with the podium and the suit with the hood, he was like, "No, we're not going to do that. We don't support that." And so for, I'd say, 15 years or so, Hasbro has had a block on that version of Cobra Commander. Gunpowder Nitro, thank you for joining us. What's good? So that is the primary reason why they have not done that figure. There is speculation that we're going to get it soon, sometime maybe this year or maybe next year. I'm not sure, because there are a lot more Cobra Commanders to be made. That's just one version, but it's a very easy version to be made because of the deco. All you have to do is redeco it in the dark blue, add the gold stripes, add the hood, add a cape, add a scepter, add a couple little things, and voila. So it's not a difficult figure to redeco and remake, in my opinion, because they've already done 3 figures with a lot of those parts already. So I think we will get it, but I do believe it's going to be something like a Pulse exclusive where people have to get it through an order through Hasbro to get it, and kids can't readily get it. So I don't believe it will be at stores. It will not be at Target, will not be at Walmart, might not even be at Big Bad Toy Store, Entertainment Earth, or GameStop. So it's got to be in a way where only adult collectors can get it. And so that's either through a paywall on a HasLab or in some sort of a Pulse exclusive way. And that's how you're going to get that figure. But I do believe we will get it. They're softening on a lot of these exclusive weird things like that. So I do think we'll get it, Terrence Child. So long answer, but that's my thought on it, and that's the predominant thought process from Hasbro and Bonaventura. So there you go. Let's get to these designations. All right, so the Steel Core has the 5 stars, which is leader. He has the 2 missiles, which I think are let's see, the 2 missiles, which is medium weapons. He's got the chest piece, which I believe is strategic, and he's got the lightning, which is Vanguard. So the Twilight Guard, he has foots on the ground with the boot, foot soldier. He's got the blast effect, which I believe is energy weapons. He's got the box with the line through it, which I think is the classified. And then he's got the shields with the star. So the shield with the star is security. So there you go. And those are your designations for the Steel Core Commander and the Twilight Guard. Bobby World, hello, good morning or good evening. That's Twilight Guard, looks great, but he feels like a one-off character, like the one guy trying to peacock his authority with a cape. Yeah, it is a little bit of that, but it's a Crimson Guard, and it's an elite Crimson Guard, and there was a bit of a, I think a file card that was released after the time, and there's some horror story about this, and I don't know, I can't recall it, but there's some background to the Twilight Guard, where Cobra Commander did some extra stuff to the Crimson Guards that made them into Twilight Guards. There's some sort of a sorcery or something like that going on. So there is something different about it. It's not a one-off. Terrence Childs, is there going to be a release of the October Guard? That's another one. You always touch on these difficult ones, Terrence Child. I think we will get October Guard members. I don't know if we'll get the entire team. I think we'll get Red Star. I think we'll get Dana, and maybe one of the other ones, Colonel. I can't remember the guy's name. I think it's Colonel Scrage. Two or three of them were G.I. Joe members. After the October Guard got killed off, heavily got killed off in G.I. Joe, and then Devil's Due, they used some of them. And in the modern 4-inch or new sculpt era, they added a couple October Guards to G.I. Joe. And then there was also Red Star. So I think we will get some October Guard members, but they will be ones that were officially in G.I. Joe. I don't think we're going to get all the official Russian ones and so on and so forth. I could be wrong, but we have to wait and see. I don't know. I'm not inside Hasbro. I can't tell you. I'm just giving you the information that I'm aware of and my thought process about the October Guard. So do with that what you will, but that's my theory and my 2 cents for whatever it's worth. All right. So then we have the photography artwork by Shooting the Galaxy, Matt and Mike. And that looks really cool with the two of those leaders fighting each other, and a couple of callbacks on there on the package. It looks like they're in China or some Asian country with all those neon lights and everything back there. It looks really cool. I do like this photography that they're doing on a lot of these. They look really nice. Colonel Breckhoff, what's up, Super Dave? Thank you, 610 Yojo Daddy. Yeah, I knew it was somebody. I couldn't remember who the other one that joined G.I. Joe with Dana in the 2000s, but I knew it was one of them. So I don't know if we do get it. I want them. Don't get me wrong, guys. I would love to get the October Guard. I would love to get that APC designed for the October Guard, a vehicle for them, and then they could also do it as a G.I. Joe vehicle, so you can get a couple of uses out of it. Get a Tiger Force one, get a Python one, get a bunch of different uses out of that APC that way, and do an October Guard one, and have that gun and chop off half of it, and do all the stuff they did in the comics with them. I would love all the October Guard. There's like 15 October Guard members if you include Red Star, Dana, and Colonel Breckhoff, and all the ones that were actually in G.I. Joe. There's a lot of members, and I think it's a good faction. It's just the political climate and stuff like that. It's going to have to be like a pre-orderable scenario, like a San Diego Comic-Con, a HasLab, some sort of a Pulse thing, just like the Cobra Commander. They're not going to let children get to this stuff. Adults, they can make those decisions and choose to buy Russian action figures because we're adults, right? So that's the thought process from what I understand from interviews and panels and things that people have asked those questions in the past. There you go. Everyone check out all the guest announcements for Joe Fest. Holy cow, we've got some great guests. Clint Jorgensen, thanks for joining us in the chat tonight. I appreciate it. Yeah, we have a lot of good guests. I'll go over some of the guests for Joe Fest and my own show, Senflow Joe Show, after we do this video, just to catch everybody up. But there's some really good guests announced. All right, so then we're going to get the loadout with all the gear and everything that comes with these two guys, and it's a Joe vs. Cobra 2-pack. So I love that they're doing a versus pack. I hope they do more of these versus packs, because I would like to get more Joe vs. Cobra type ideas, and maybe you can get redecos of characters that we might not want to spend regular as a regular addition to the line. Maybe we could do it as an exclusive, like a Tigerverse Force character versus a Python character, and maybe a Night Force versus something else, or something like that. I'd like those verses, and I think it'd be really interesting to get stuff like that, different, and mix it up some. But they have tons and tons of stuff. Man, are they loaded to bear in this set. So let's get them out of this package and let's get on with this. Let's see. So we got the Indicia, the Gobbledygook, Legal. We'll put that aside here. Put him back there. There we go. So we have the first ever Joe vs. Cobra interior with the stars and stripes in the Cobra there. Put that back in there. Put that down there. My word, that looks expensive. Terrence Childs, yeah. It was, I don't know, $49, $45, I don't know. But there was a lot of accessories. So there's a little extra set of accessories here. We're going to put that over here for now. We'll get to that in a minute. And we're going to go into these guys here first. So because I am a big Crimson Guard fan, and that's my favorite faction of G.I. Joe, I'm going to go with the Twilight Guard first and give him a little love. All right, so one of the things right off the bat is he comes with this extra cape. So this is one of those things that as soon as they did this and they showed this off with his cape, everybody was like, okay, so that's future proofing. Future proofing, what it is when you get parts or accessories or things that are in the figures that are released that you know are going to go to something else, another figure, another vehicle, or another playset, or what have you. And this was one of those examples. When they showed this cape off, we're like, Iron Grenadier's Destro. There you go. There's his cape. His little side cape, because he has a side cape on this side, and the Crimson Twilight Guard has it on the right side, but the Destro has it on the left side. So that was like one of those things that we knew we were going to get an Iron Grenadier's Destro. You can tell certain things. People will say, oh, it's in the tea leaves, or I have some inside information, or leaks, or this or that. But some of it's obvious, like this. We knew we were going to get an Iron Grenadier's Destro just based on this cape. That's all we needed. And the fact that we needed another Destro, we haven't gotten a Destro since the retro vintage package Destro. And that only gave us, what, 3 Destros at that point? So we definitely need another Destro. He's like one of the major villains of G.I. Joe. So you have to have another one. And they've been building out the Iron Grenadiers. So add all that up, and there you go. You're going to get another Destro, Iron Grenadier's Destro. So there you go. But he looks totally awesome. He looks like an Iron Grenadier. You're very correct on that, Terrence Shaw. You just stole the words right out of my mouth on that. So he's very Iron Grenadier-esque. But the thing that I like about him is he's got a lot of these purple highlights. If you look at the side of his arm there, and that arm, and the back, there's some beautiful purple highlights. And I like it when they add purple highlights to these figures, because I like purple. I think that's a cool color. So they took a little bit of the trooper, I think, or maybe it was the officer, and they added some Iron Grenadier, not Iron, Crimson Guard parts to it. So there's a mix in this. This is not a solid Crimson Guard figure here. There's a lot of other figures with this. There's, I think, the officer is in this. There's a little bit of the trooper in this. There's some Crimson Guard. There's that cape. So there's a few little bits and pieces of different things in this. This is definitely a Kit Bash character, not necessarily a Crimson Guard 100%. But he has this cool, like, computer type a shoulder pauldron there, that's really cool. It has a little red in it, has a computer diagnostic or something, or maybe that's just a tampo of this Elite Twilight Guard. Yeah, I think it is. It is just a tampo there, but it looks really cool. It looks like a really cool tampo on there. Um, then they have the Cobra sigil underneath the cape, the cloth cape harness there. You got the Cobra logo in silver, silver, and then he's got his head chevron, and there's several different black paint on this. There's some really glossy, shiny paint for the helmet, and then there's a matte black, and then there's also that shiny on these arm bands there. So there's a lot to this figure, and then he also has that chevron that's a little shiny with the silver in the middle. Yeah, you can use him as an officer, of course, definitely. Uh, so there's a lot of colored breaks in this, not only with the blacks, the purples, a little bit of the red, because the interior of the cape is red. So, and it matches that chevron there, that little shoulder pauldron there. And there's a little bitty red light in that Iron Grenadier. Kind of looks like one of those guys from Battlestar Galactica, the robot looking guys. I can't think of their names. But this harness is cloth, and it goes all the ways around, holding that cape in place. It's a very nice figure. He has all the same articulation points as most figures. The butterfly shoulders, the double pin elbows, the double pin knees, the foot rocker, the ankle, the extra ankle articulation, the thigh, the calf, the wrist articulation, and he's got the extra bendy wrist articulation. He's got the ab crunch. He's got the head rocker there. He's got the crotch and the leg articulation. So he's got most of the articulation points except for the one extra wrist articulation. Yeah, the Cylons. That's it. You got it, New York. Thanks for joining us again tonight. I appreciate it. I want to make sure we get through this whole video before 9 o'clock because I don't want to get in the way of a Punk with Toys video. So let's get through this. So there's the Crimson Guard. So then we have the Steel Corps. And excuse that noise. So basically, he's going to be pretty much the regular Steel Corps. Now, we've gotten the regular Steel Corps, and we've got lots of reuse of these helmets, all in different colors and decos that I really like. I think it's a very nice helmet. I really do. I like it a lot. He's a much darker color, and if you look at the vintage one, that was a much brighter. Let me see if I can get a better light. Much brighter blue and much brighter green, whereas this is much more subdued and darker colors on him. He's got all the same extras and secondaries that the other one had. He's got that little light thing there, which I still haven't figured out what that little badge with that little blue light is. I wish someone could tell me why that's on the figures. And there's a bunch of figures that have that, and I just don't know why it's there. I'd like to figure out why. So he's got two holsters on both of his sides. He's got one of his back belt. He's also got one knife sheath on his secondary on his chest. He's got the ab crunch underneath there, the head rocker, and see how that head like kind of goes up, so it looks like he can fly almost. I wish they had that with other figures, but he's got the two harnesses on the sides of his arms, right and left arms. He's got the two shoulder pauldrons there with a little gold deco in the bullets on the right. He's got the Iron Grenadier's tampo there on his left shoulder pauldron. It's a nice balance, but the main thing is he's got that gold helmet to match the gold vintage one, the gold head Steel Corps. It's a joepro.com, can display maps and calls with other Joes. Huh. I didn't know that. How did you know that? Where did you get that information from, Will R7284? Because I've never heard that before, but thank you very much. I appreciate that. So there's a nice balance with the green and the blue, the little gold touches, and some black. So there's a nice balance in this figure, and he looks like he would be a really good leader for the other steel core. So now we'll have 3 steel cores: IFF Beacon Communicator, New York Knights, 1974. Exactly. Oh, okay. I've never seen that before. Thank you for letting me know. Um, so he's got all the same articulation points: the butterfly shoulders, the double pin elbows, the double pin knees, the foot rocker, the ankle, the thigh calf, the wrist, the crotch and leg, the ab crunch, the head articulation, and he does not have the bendy wrist. He only has the regular wrist, and he does not have the secondary wrist. So there you go. And there's also a little gold carabiner there. So there's a little bitty gold touches all through this. And one of my favorite things about the helmets of the steel core is that they do those little computer readouts on them. And I'm guessing that that was a test for the Televiper, the vintage retro package Televiper, so they can print on those masks. And I'm guessing that was a test so they could do that with the Televiper vintage one, because that they ended up doing that with that. That's a cool tripwire. That's not tripwire. That's G.I. Joe 66 Delta 17 3D Joes. That's the Steel Core Commander with the Twilight Guard 2-pack. We're reviewing that. So there you go. So we got both figures out of there. Now let's get into some of these accessories. Holy smokes, is there a lot of accessories with this set? So this steel core, I should say the Shadow Twilight Guard, has this really large backpack. Now that's a much bigger backpack, and it's not the same backpack that the Crimson Guard came with. So this is a new backpack that he's never had before, and he has that tampo again on the top of the backpack there. And he's got purple stripes to get a little bit of that deco into it. That's very hard to see. It looks like tripwire. I apologize. Let me, because he's very dark. His color deco is a very dark color scheme there. If that's a little bit better for you, Delta 17. Yeah. Is that better? Sorry, sometimes the lighting is a little tricky. I want to redo some of my lighting in here for the future, but I haven't gotten a chance to yet. So there's that backpack. You can see that little bitty tampo there, that red tampo on the top. That was way better. Okay, cool. Thank you. All right, so I'm going to put that. This is going to be tricky because he's got that cape and he's got a little glue there. So this is going to be a tricky backpack to put on him. I'm going to try and see if I can figure this out. I have to move the cape out of the way, put the backpack there. There, I got it on. There. And it's got the cape still there, so that's good. All right. You can see the details now when he is closer up to the camera. Ah, okay. G.I. Joe 66 Delta 17. I can't afford to buy a cool camera yet either. Yeah, I'm in the same way. I'm in the same boat. Terrence Childs, is there an Ace action figure? No, Terrence, there's not an Ace action figure yet. He's one of the few from 83 that's left. There's only a couple of figures from 83 that haven't been made, and he's one of them. But they would probably only do Ace if they did a HasLab Jet, a G.I. Joe Jet of some sort. And I don't know if we're going to get a Jet this year because it's Cobra this year, unless they want to mix things up and do something different. But that's the only way you're going to get Ace, I think. Let's see. That's a Steel Brigade figure. It looks really nice. Yeah, it is a Steel Brigade. It's a commander of the Steel Brigade. G.I. Joe Delta 17. Yep, that's exactly right. All right, so look at all the guns this guy comes with. He's got like 20 guns. He's got like every G.I. Joe gun that you can think of. Classified basically gave this guy. He's got this gun here with this laser there on it. That's one. I'm just going to lay all these weapons over here because we're not going to be able to put all these weapons on the figure. Then we got this one there, and it has a little red as well there, laser. So they're going back to the roots of classified with an upgrade of all these laser guns. Then you have that one. All of these guns have the purple deco to match the figure. Get a little closer so you can see that. All right. Let's see. Yeah, they did Steeler. Yeah, they did Steeler, so maybe there's a chance you'll get Ace by himself. I don't know. I think you could do Steeler without, because you can do two versions of Steeler. But Ace, he's got to come with a jet. It's got to have a jet with that figure if they're going to do it. Hinted his weapons may be powered by Dark Energon. Yeah, that's true. You're right about that, Will R. Dark Energon. Cool weapons. Yeah, he's got a lot of gear, this guy. I hope they made that for O-Ring 3 scale 2. They did do a Twilight guard. It was called a Shadow guard. It was a Crimson guard that was all black. It was a six or seven figure set that was during the Valorverse Venom era. He was all black and he had some gear and his helmets came off and stuff like that. You can go on Google, look it up and check it out. It looks really nice. I don't have the figure of it though. Then he has his sword with the sheath and the harness there. I don't know if the sword comes out. Yeah, it does come out. And then it's a steel deco on that. And then he's got a little bitty purple in that hilt there. And there's some deco of the sheath as well. Purple. So I'm going to put the sword back in there. I think there's probably going to be a little thing on the side. Yeah, there is. So if you look over here on the left, there's a little hole on his belt, his secondary belt that holds the sword. So we're going to put the sword right there in that hole in his belt. So then he can have it if he needs to. So there you go. We got his backpack. We got his sword there. All right. So then what else do we have? We have two more big guns. We got this big guy. Look at this gun. Holy smokes. Man, they're giving these guys everything. They're throwing the whole armory at these guys. There's like 1 million guns in here. I don't know which guns to give to which. So then there's this gun. All these guns have beautiful detail in them. It's like they redid every gun. It's unbelievable. This one has the silencer on it there, that little silencer, and has the purple deco. Now the purple deco on these guns are slightly different than the purple deco on this. This is a lot more brighter, and this is darker. So can you tell the difference between those two purples? So one is a Twilight Guard weapon. One is a Steel Corps Commander. Let's see. He does not come with an AK-47. What do you think that is? He should have come with an A161, AK-61. So I think 610 Yojo Daddy, you're a gun guy, right? That's an M16, right? And then I'm not sure. Is that like a sniper rifle? Hey, at KMac user, hello. Thanks for joining us today. This is the first time you've been in the chat. I appreciate it. Gunpowder Nitro M16A2. I gotcha. Wolverine, hello. Thanks for joining us today. You're the first time in the chat as well. Hey there, David. Happy birthday again. Hope it was a great one. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thanks for joining the chat today. Can't wait to go to your convention later this month. It's actually in April. Wolverine. It's in April. Nice M16. Cool. All right. So then they gave him the Mod Deuce. They gave him the Mod Deuce gun with the little things, the stand, purple, and the little ammunition cartridge with gold bullets. Gold bullets. So there you go. So they gave him that. They gave these guys everything. They threw the whole thing out. So then we have the rock and roll bullet, or I should say the roadblock. Roadblock and rock and roll both had these bullets. This strap of bullets, the harness. Happy late birthday! Hey, thanks, Bobby World. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Bobby World. M16A4 has a removable carry handle and a rail underneath. Ah, cool. Will R, yes. Wolverine. Oh, yeah, April. That's right. There you go. All right, so then that matches. I think that goes with the Steel Corps because it's much more gold. So we'll put that over there. Let's see. Then we're going to get into some guns. So we got two different guns. We have a gold one, 45 there. It's very hard to see because it's gold, but it is gold. So I'm going to put the gold one on the Steel Corps. Put that in here for him. There, because he has the gold. And then the Shadow Guard has the, looks like a 40 maybe. That's silver. Sean Jones, 375. It's your birthday. Hope you're having a great day. Actually, my birthday was yesterday, but thank you very much. I did have a wonderful day. Thank you, Sean, with my family and some friends. Thank you. New York Nights, 1974. Belated happy birthday, David. What day? It was yesterday, January 11th. What up, Joe Bros in the chat? Hey, Sean Jones, thanks for joining us. Happy birthday, G.I. Joe Delta 17. Thank you, 66 Delta. Thank you very much. All right, so that one is going to go in the holster of the Twilight Guard because he's got silver on his mask and little bits of silver. So I'm guessing that's going to go with him. So, yep, slides right in there on there. Thank you very much, everybody, for all the birthday wishes. You didn't need to do that. It was fine. I'm fine. All right. So then we have this big knife. It's like a big Bowie knife. And it has a little bitty, cool little Cobra little thing on the end of it, on the hilt. there. We've seen this knife before, and we also have that same deco of that silver deco that's on there, and has that little cobra little thing on the end of it. My birthday is January 14th. Well, happy birthday in a couple of days, Terrence Child, if I don't see you on another stream in the next couple of days. Mine was the 7th. Capricorns rule. Happy birthday, New York Knights, 1974. You know, we're both born in January. You have 1974 in your name, and I'm guessing that's your birth year because that's my birth year as well. So we're practically twins, and I have a twin. So maybe you be my triplet. Oh man, that's funny. Happy birthday, all Capricorns. So that is going to go in this little sheath on the left, on the right. He's got another sheath on his right leg there. I don't know if I mentioned that sheath when I was talking about him, but I'm going to stick it in there. Yep, that goes right in there. So he's got his all kinds of stuff on there on him. And then let's see. Then we have a bunch of blast effects. So they threw in a ton of blast effects. Some of these we've seen before. Some of them are new. I think they're all, actually, we've seen them all before now that I look at them. Some of the deluxe figures have had them. I maybe Scrap Iron had some of these. Maybe Roadblock and Rock and Roll might have had some of them. So we have all these different blast effects there. That one. There. We have this little smoke effect. Then we have another little teeny smoke effect for the muzzle of it. Can't hardly see that there. Then this little blast effect there. There. Let's see, what else? Gunpowder Nitro, yours is the 28th of January? Oh, wow. Everybody in the chat has a birthday on the 20th January. That's great. So we're all Capricorns. Actually, late January is technically the next one, right? There you go. So then we have that. Then we have one more knife. And then that does it for all the accessories and effects. And there's a little teeny knife, got a little bit of steel with a black hilt on that. There's a little bitty knife sheath on the front of the Steel Core Commander, and that goes in there like that. So now you have, and then there's another holster in the back. I don't have another gun to put in that holster. So he has one more holster back there, but there's no other gun for that. Let's see. Aquarius. I gotcha. Because that's February, right? The beginning of February. Have they been Firefly related yet? Yeah, there's been 2 Fireflies. Terrence Childs, a very heavy classified up Firefly, much more modern, and then much more vintage Firefly that came around maybe 100, somewhere around the 100s, 90s, or something like that. They did a much more vintage aesthetic Firefly. Might have been in the 90s. Yeah, he has a lot of they have a lot of accessories in this set, Gunpowder Nitro. But there is a rumor there's going to be a third Firefly. Maybe they'll go way, way vintage with it and have him just look exactly like his vintage version and have his gun and his backpack, and that's about it. Maybe. I don't know if that's going to happen, but there's a rumor there's going to be a vintage Firefly. I'm hoping that there's if they do Firefly, it's going to be version 2 Firefly, which is my favorite. And I won't go into it, but it's a very cool Firefly. So let's see, which ones of these guns do you think I should give? I'm going to give him one of these laser guns, maybe. I'm going to see if some of these guns, you know what these guns are? These are some of Roadblock's. No, these are some of Gung Ho's guns from like, I think it was like figure 6 or 7, right, guys? Gung Ho, he had all these laser guns and they went in the backpack. That's what this backpack's from. It's from the it's from the Gung Ho figure. And that's where all these go. These laser guns go in the side of the backpack like that, I believe. I think I'm right. 610 Yojo Daddy. Tell me if I'm wrong about that. Is this the Gung Ho backpack with all these laser guns? I think they are. So this is definitely inspired by the earlier classified. If they're using these guns in this backpack, there's definitely some of that gung ho in this, and it's very hard to get these guns to stay on there because I know I had a hard time with it with gung ho as well. I'm gonna try to get them. Yeah, all right, I got them on there. So then the sheath also came off. So he is not going to stand with all these accessories. I can already see that. So I need to put that back on there. I'm trying to be very careful so I don't lose all this stuff. There. All right. So, all right, we got the laser guns on there. We got the sword. We got his gun. We got his knife. Got his sword and everything. So I'm going to give him this gun. I think that seems like the best gun to give him. Because I put the other two on there. I'm going to try to give him this gun without knocking all these accessories over. Oh. All right, I think I got it. All right, I think I got it. Whew, that was tricky. But I got everything on him. Yep, Gung Ho's accessories. Yep. Let's see. Dave, all I need to know is how much do you want for that dragonfly? Ha! Gunpowder Nitro. That dragonfly is not for sale. But we're gonna be opening it up very shortly. Very shortly. We're gonna be opening that up, but it's not for sale. I'm sorry to tell you. So you don't know who the good guys are from the bad guys without their weapons. Good guys carry M16s and bad guys carry AK-47s. Ah, okay, Terrence Childs. There you go. So I'm gonna put him on a stand because I feel if I lay him down that he's gonna lose all those accessories that are on his back. So I'm gonna try to stand him on a stand just so I can make sure they don't fall off. All right, so there's Twilight Guard on a stand. I'm gonna try to put him, hopefully. There he is. We got everything on him. All right, so what do we got? Hey, Paul Morales, good evening. Thanks for joining us again in the chat. I appreciate it. All right, so we're gonna go to the steel core. I think I'm gonna give the steel core this big, one of these big laser guns, because he's decked out like he's futuristic. So I'm gonna give him one of those, and we're gonna see what he looks like. I may give him a second gun, and we'll see how that goes. Yeah, I think he can stand to use a couple of guns. So I'm not going to give him the big heavy Ma Deuce gun because it's just too big. So there's one gun. And so what else should I give him? I'm going to give him this other. I think I'm going to give him this other gun here, and then that's going to probably be it for these guns. I don't think I can get any more guns on any of these guys. There. So he's like loaded. Say hello to my little friends. All right, so I'm going to put a stand on him. Stand. Here. And there. 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 So there's. So we ended up with most of the accessories on these guys. The only thing, we ended up with 3 extra guns that we didn't get in that ammo belt that didn't get to put on them. So, and we didn't use any of their effects either. I prefer to use all the effects, all the weapons if I can on the figures. That's my preference. But we'll do what we have to do. But I think overall, I think these are both very good figures. They look very nice. I think they did a good job redecorating them. I've got to say that's one of my favorite parts about a lot of the new classifieds is the decos that they're giving them, the balance of the paint apps and stuff like that. I know I've said it before in other videos, but it does stand out. It is very unique and it's very nice. And they do a really good job with it. So Tony and the people that do that sort of stuff really should be proud of that, because it does help these figures and it gives them a much more realistic view and interpretation when you're looking at them and putting them in dioramas and doing photography, artwork and stuff like that. For those guys that do that sort of stuff, they really stand out. They look really nice. I'm not going to mess with him anymore. I was going to move his arm, but I'm going to leave it the way it is. So what do you guys think? Do you think this is a nice 2-pack? Do you think they did a good job with this 2-pack? Do you want to see more Cobra versus G.I. Joe 2-packs and maybe get redecos of characters that we can compete against each other? Maybe get another Storm Shadow versus Snake Eyes, maybe a Duke versus Cobra Commander, or some things like that, or maybe new characters, because we know we're getting a new Joe. We know we're getting a new Cobra this year, completely whole cloth. Never before introduced into this brand. So maybe that'll be a 2-pack. You never know. It would be fun if that were the case. Let's see. So let's go into a little bit of information. It's a great 2-pack. Yeah, I agree with you, Terrence. I think it is. It's one of my favorite 2-packs so far that they've done. I like it when they do 2-packs because you can play around with the decos, you can play around with the theme of it and do some different things with it. So I like it when they do 2-packs. I want to see more Twilight Guard soldiers. Yeah, that would be interesting to maybe get a Twilight Guard soldier in maybe a retro package or vintage package, something like that. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Steve Martin, 623. Thanks for joining the chat. I appreciate it. Is this your first time in the chat? Make sure, if you guys are new in the chat and you're attending the channel for the first time, please like, share, subscribe if you can. It'll help us grow and help us get to that next spot in the subs. We're shooting for the 250 sub mark, and we try to get up to maybe 1,000, a nice round number of 1,000. If you're able to, if you can't, that's fine. But I appreciate it. Helps the channel, and everybody else that's been here supporting us for a while have been doing a really good job of that, sharing and doing that. So yeah, I like these. I think they did a really nice job with these two figures. I think they're very standout figures on their own. They could have been single figures, but I guess Hasbro didn't want to do that type of thing. They've already done it with the Grim Viper. They've already done it with Parth Varma. They've already done it with, I guess, the Ghost Viper. And stuff like that. So this is kind of in that same vein, kind of creating their own thing with it. Same thing with Vipra, with the Python Patrol, and so on. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is. I've seen you on Terry's show, though. Oh, okay. You've seen me on Toy Talk Live on Sunday afternoons. Thank you very much. I appreciate you coming over and joining me on here. I hope you guys are also watching Toy Talk Live on Sunday afternoons, 2 o'clock, usually Sundays, with my co-host Terry Ruin and Dan Thompson. So there you go. Check that out as well. Hit the like button, and guys, help the channel. Thank you, Gunpowder Nitro. I appreciate it. So let me go into a little bit of news. So I have a show that's coming up. My friend Wolverine was talking about earlier in the chat, the Send Flow Joe show. I don't have my flyer. I should have had a flyer prepared. But we're going to have a bunch of guests. We're going to have lots of vintage toys and vintage comics and all kinds of stuff that all of us guys collected when we were young and we still collect now. It's in Central Florida. So if you're in the southern Alabama, southern Georgia, and anywhere in Florida, and you want to go to a really enjoyable G.I. Joe kind of experience, it's going to be in Deltona, Florida on April 19th. It's a one-day show. We're going to have some really cool guests, artists, designers from Hasbro, some comic book companies, some book publishers, some toy designer and makers. Matthew LaCroix is going to be coming. And so it's going to be a really fun time. It's our first show, so we need all the support we can get to grow the show. This will be the first one. So if we do really well this one, we can do another one next year and we can grow it. And maybe someday we'll have a really nice community show in Central Florida and the South for G.I. Joe. So we're going to have a lot of really good dealers selling all kinds of vintage toys and so on and so forth. So it's going to be a wonderful experience. Our primary guest is Mark Pennington, who is a designer from 87 to 89 on G.I. Joe. He also worked at CrossGen on the comic series The Path, and he does a lot of art shows, and he does a lot of good sketches, so you guys can get sketches by him at the show and stuff like that. He's a very nice guy, really cool person to meet in person. Is there supposed to be a new G.I. Joe crossover with Transformers comic book coming out? I can't find it anywhere. Has anyone seen it? The next thing that I know of that will be in the Energon universe. Skybound is doing a lot of G.I. Joe, Transformers, Void Rival crossovers all over the place. The next Free Comic Book Day is on May 2nd, and there will be an Energon special, and there'll be 4 stories in that, and you'll probably be getting a lot of that stuff in that. There'll be a Joe story, a Void Rivals, Transformer story, and then a new story of something else. And if you read the blurb, it says, and more in that special. So check out that special. It'll be probably solicited soon, but it comes out May 2nd around Free Comic Book Day. Terrence Childs. That's the most information that I have on that right at this moment. You were right. Dunn ordered 2 Cobra officers from Amazon. Both card backs was damaged, so finding good packaging on the retros is gonna be challenging. Yep, Gunpowder Nitro. I had a feeling you were gonna have a hard time. I'm sorry about that, because they're very flimsy. I was very lucky. I got my snake eyes from over in Europe, and they were like pristine. So I'm very happy about that, considering how rare they are. GI Joe 66 Delta 17 3D Joe's ORC. That's cool, dude. Too bad I am in Canada. I'm sorry about that. Um, well, you can go on vacation. Bring your family down to come to Disney and Cape Canaveral and go to the beach. And there's a lot of other stuff in Central Florida to do. Universal Studios, Epic Lands just opened up. There's lots of stuff. Bring your family on vacation if you have a family. Corporate Trooper. I mean, yeah, I got you, Gunpowder Nitro. Thank you so much for telling me that, Terrence Childs. You're welcome. Um, they look so good, though. Yeah, they do. They do look good. The vintage package figures, they've all been very, very nice figures. It's just a matter of the packaging. That's the problem. So then, all right. So if you can't make it to Central Florida for the Centflow Joe show on April 19th, then maybe you can make it to Joe Fest 2026 in Augusta, Georgia, and we have a boatload of guests. So that is the 23rd to the 25th of June. We have already lined up Sergeant Slaughter, Larry Hama, Dan Gilvezan, Lisa Raggio. We've got a bunch of major studio vendors like Super 7, the Animals of the something, I can never remember their name, and Skeletron, Marauders, Gunrunners, the Big Bag Toy Store, Big Bag Toy Studios. What else? Who else? Oh my God. I'm trying to think of everybody that we've announced thus far. We've got a lot more announcements to go. It's going to be the biggest and the best Joe Fest we've ever done. We try to uh, uh, get more events, and we got a really cool trivia event on Thursday evening, and there may be another musical event. That's all I'm going to say about that. Oh, Michael Charles Hill, the creator of the Cold Slither and the um, European missions um, team are also he's also going to be there. He was the Sunbow animator, writer, and producer on Sunbow GI Joe animated series. He's going to be there. Gunpowder Nitro. Augusta is 5 hours away. Yeah, it's about 4.5, 5 hours from where I am as well. Try to help your fellow Joe Bros. If someone needs a ride, try to do some helping them out and drive, picking them up along the way and doing a carpool scenario. Because, you know, I want to get everybody there and I want to hang out with all you guys and say hi to you guys. There was a few of you guys there last year. I got to say hi to Michael Gene Fleming and Will R and a couple of the other guys. But I really want to see all you guys there and hang out. I have kind of a code name. They call me the voice of Joe Fest. So if you hear an announcement or you hear any talking over the loudspeaker, that's my voice. I'm the voice of Joe Fest. Uh, uh, Not too bad. I'm in NE, Tennessee. Uh, oh, that's not that bad. North Tennessee is not bad. You can come over. That's 4 or 5 hours over there. We got a lot of friends that are in Tennessee. Gunpowder Nitro. You should try to come over and help out some of the guys in Virginia that are having a hard time trying to find transportation. All you guys, if you can help your fellow brother Joe Bro come to the show, I would love to have you guys all hang out and come up to my room and maybe we can get some pizza and drinks and stuff and just chat and hang out. That's the one of the best things about Joe Fest. It's not only the guests, it's not only the toys, it's not only the cool exclusives, but it's hanging out with you guys and hang out with all us guys. We just chat online. We never see each other until we go to our family reunions, right? Joe Fest is our family reunion. So I want to see all my family there. You guys in this chat, you're my family. I want to see all of you at Joe Fest. Um, Fantastic. The voice of Joe Fest, Mr. Announcer. That is right. That's me. And so I'm very excited about both of these shows, excited about growing my own show, and excited about Joe Fest. Every year, it's going to be phenomenal. Um, Very cool. Very cool. GI Joe 66 Delta 17 3D Joes ORC. Delta 17. Maybe they're going to be there too. Now that you're in the chat, are you going to be at Joe Fest this year, Delta 17? I hope so. I've been trying to get an interview with Delta 17 for a couple years, but we're so busy, both of us, that it's hard. It's hard to get interviews. So there's a bunch more guests. I can't say anything about who we're getting, but I'm going to be doing a lot of interviews this year. And also, if you have an opportunity, try to get tickets for the Sergeant Slaughter breakfast. I was the MC at the Sergeant Slaughter breakfast last year. We had Adam Riches there, and man, it was what an experience. You get all kinds of goodies. You get to sit one-on-one with Sarge and talk to him and hear speakers talk about their experiences with Sergeant Slaughter. Man, that breakfast, it's so much fun. It's Sunday morning, so it's very tough to go all day Saturday, then all night hanging out and drinking. Sergeant Slaughter even comes out and drinks with us. He does. He comes out and talks to everybody at night. But then we have the breakfast in the morning, and it's hard for everybody to come. But it's worth it. It's worth the money if you can do it. Let's see who else. Let me see. Is there a Raven figure coming out yet? Well, if you've seen my episode with Brian Flynn, my interview, he's strongly hinted at Raven and Quinn as Reaction Plus O-rings. And we have 3 Super 7 exclusives for Joe Fest 2026 this year. So that would be awesome if it was Quinn and Raven. But yeah, I think we are getting a Raven this year. Terrence Childs, definitely. I think Delta 17 will be going this year. Ken or Steve or both for sure. I think both will be there. Great. Delta GI Joe 666 Delta 17 3D Joes ORC. Great. We need an Arctic ASP to pull behind the Arctic Hiss. There you go. There's something new. See, and I think we could get a bunch of ASPs because that's been redecoed like 5 times. We've gotten the regular, we've gotten the Python, we've gotten the Tiger Force. Maybe there's a red one for Palatoy. There you go, Arctic. Something new. We've never gotten an Arctic version of that, I don't think. Delta 17 will have some more exclusives this Joe Fest, and they will have Wave 2 later on in 2026. That is awesome. I can't wait. Thank you. Let them know that I'm very excited. If they want to come on the channel, we can chat with them. I've been trying to get an interview. We're just both of us, or all of us, are so busy. It's hard to get our schedules lined up. But I would love to have them come to the channel. GI Joe 66 Delta 17 3D Joes. So if you have an inside track with them, let them know that I want to interview with them. What is the next Super 7 O-rings? I don't know who the next Super 7 O-rings are. I just know they'll be around April. They're going to be the spring ones. The ones that we just got, the ones with Mara, Arctic Scarlet, Regal Cobra Commander, and who else was in that? Was it Big Lob? I can't remember. That was supposed to be the winter wave. We got it a little bit early, but the next wave won't be till about April. But I'm sure it's going to be awesome because they're really getting into the weeds and the deep cuts with O-Ring Reaction Plus. So I'm guessing it's going to be awesome. So I'm looking forward to it. Would be good since they took the main cannons. Yeah, there you go. Gunpowder Nitro. Yep. So what else is going on? We have GI Joe Day, February, the first weekend in February. We also have Toy Fair on February 15th, the week of February 15th. So we're going to be getting a lot of classified new renders, new name onlys, new revealed, some pre-orders probably somewhere around GI Joe Day. So look forward to all that news. It's going to be awesome. So what else is going on? What else do you guys have that you want to ask about anything that we've discussed in this chat so far? I want to make sure we get this over with before 9 because I don't want to interfere with Punk with Toys. April sounds great. So they usually come earlier. So maybe they will be in May. Then LOL. They always say April. Commando Snake Eyes glows in the dark. Yes, Commando Snake Eyes. That was the fourth one. You're right. He is made very well, like the vintage thick. Yep, you're right. That was the fourth one. So I think we may get some other larger figures as well because they've got those larger figures with the Fatal Fluffy and Ramar. Maybe we'll get the Toy Maker. Maybe we'll get some other characters that are larger characters. Maybe we'll get Hondaloo. Maybe we'll get Satin with her band. Maybe we'll get more Cold Slither members. Maybe we'll get who else? Who is Quick Kick's girlfriend? I can never remember her girlfriend. His girlfriend, Action Force, is coming out late 26 too. Action Force? What do you mean Action Force? Give me a little more information on that. Is that Super 7 Reaction Plus Action Force, you think? Because Brian Flynn said he was not going to do anything that was already out. So there's a lot of Action Force that came out in O-ring style. So I'm not sure. Retro Firefly. Okay. You think Retro Firefly and Action Force will be out this year? That would be nice. I would like to get a little bit more worldly with G.I. Joe, and that's some new classified factions. You can get international, the International Action Force, and then obviously the Black Major, Red Laser, and all that stuff. Yeah, that would be great. I would love to get all that stuff. Super 7 did a little bit of international with the Red Laser, with Cobra Mortal, Cobra Jackal, Cobra Red Knock. So they did a few. Call Sign Longbow should finally be out too. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's been long in the coming, Call Sign Longbow. So I'm looking forward to all that stuff. Should be really good. All the O-ring stuff is really good. What else you guys got to say? Any questions you have on anything that we've discussed? So the next review is going to be this. That's our next review. And if you're able to, tomorrow morning, we're going to be doing it. It's going to be a very long review, but we got 4 figures and we got a massive vehicle to review and unpack. So it's going to be a very long video. So I'll probably start like around 9:30 and we'll go till like maybe 11:30 or 12 or something like that. It's going to be a long video. So if you guys can join us, join me tomorrow, it's going to be an incredible episode. So I look forward to having everybody there to add to the chat. I know this is a different time for a lot of guys. So the morning is a different group and then the evening is a different group. Valaverse is making Action Force figures for 3 3/4. They already showed the 405 characters that they're making. Oh, okay, Valaverse. Interesting. I did not know that. That's very interesting. Gunpowder Nitro. I think after that we've got. This is the last one for 2024. So then we're going to start heading into 2025. And so Strike Force. Strike Force. Yeah, they do some really good stuff. Matt LaCroix and Jason Schermeyer, they do some really good stuff. There's a lot of good stuff out there. It's hard to get it all. It really is. I got a notification for something from Big Bad Toy Store, and it is my Bulletproof Cops figure. I'm really looking forward to that. Strike Force Alpha coming out to 2026 Wave 2. Yay! I'm looking forward to that because I have the first wave and some extra odds and end characters. But yeah, they've done a really good job with that. And Matt LaCroix is a very good friend of mine. He's going to actually be at my show in April 19th, the Zen Flow Joe show. So maybe he'll have some exclusives or something that he can share at that show, at our show. So that would be great. Do you think that they're going to release any Battle Force 2000 figures? Battle Force 2000 is a hot topic, Terrence Charles. At some point, I would like to get Battle Force 2000. I always felt when it came out in the vintage line in the 80s, it was too soon. I think if Battle Force came out in like 93, I think it would have been the right time because they had been moving into the futuristic and more technical and more advanced with G.I. Joe as it went along. I just think when it came out in 87, I think it was too soon. And so there's a lot of vitriol towards Battle Force 2000. I like it. I think it's a really cool concept. I think someone should do a 3D printed like base that you could put all the vehicles on with wheels. And then when you have all the vehicles in this big square, and then you'd be able to move this thing like a big tank, because that's how it was portrayed in the comics, and the toy is a big thing, but it couldn't be moved by itself. It all fell apart. So I wish someone in the community could 3D print a base to fit all the vehicles on, and then it would be this huge base that would move around like it showed in the comics and the cartoon ads. I think that would be awesome. I think if we get Battle Force 2000, I think it should be a little bit later because they did all those futuristic G.I. Joes at the beginning of Classified in 2020, and people didn't want the futuristic. They wanted more vintage inspired or a little bit turned up from vintage inspired, a little bit more classified up, but they didn't want all that futuristic lasers and stuff like that. So I think if they're going to do Battle Force, they should wait till the last year or two to try to do that. If they're going to end this line, do Battle Force towards the end of it. That's just my feeling on it. I don't know. Maybe there's a lot more Battle Force fans out there than I'm aware of, but that's just how I feel about it and where I think it's going to go. So, Terrence, I hope that answered your question. Yeah, Matt is the one also doing their figures too for Action Force. Okay. Great. Matt's a wonderful guy. I love Battle Force 2000. Yeah, I liked it. I did like it. I just felt it was not the right time for it. I think it needed to be later in the brand, in the line, in the vintage line. I thought it should have fit in perfectly with like Star Brigade and all those vehicles they were doing in the 90s, the late 90s, 93, 94. It would have been perfect for that time frame. But it's just the way it is. We got it when we got it, and I don't know if Classified. They said there's nothing off the table, so I will say that for you, Terrence Child. There's nothing off the table, so I believe we will get it at some point. It's just a matter of time. Maybe they'll just do one figure a year or something for the next 10 years, and you'll get all the figures. Yeah, Dodger and Blaster. They did several decos of both of those, so I think we could get them. It's just a matter of time. They'll just do one at a time, one a year for the next 10 years, and you'll have all Battle Force 2000. I don't know if we'll get all those vehicles, but there's a very good possibility of getting all the figures. And yeah, I would like to get them all. But yeah, if any of you guys are 3D printers and you want to do something that I think a lot of people would like, build the base for the Battle Force 2000 bunker with all the vehicles and figure out how to set that in there. So then put 4 wheels on it and put a cool boundary or a border around it. And that would be the coolest 3D thing that everybody would want. I think that's just me. I'm not a 3D printer, so I can say stuff like that. I'll give a NIB Vamp and a NIB Striker for the Dragonfly. Yeah. Good luck with that. Maverick was cool. Yeah, Maverick's cool. They all have some really cool names. A lot of them got killed off though during that battle. Is it the Battle of Benzine in like the one teens 120 somewhere in that area? The Battle of Benzine just knocked down, had a bad head and DJ. Oh yeah, just knocked down, uh, had a bad head and DJ. Yeah. So there are characters that were in the comics that we never even got. Toys. There was that one guy. Um, who was that? Who was the guy that was in the comics? I can't think of his name. People have been wanting them to do a vintage um, Reaction Plus figure of that character because he was never made as a Reaction Plus, and he was part of the Battle Force 2000 in the comics. And I can't think of his name off the top of my head. If you guys remember who that guy is, let me know in the Dave shutting me down. No, it's okay. Uh, Dodger was awesome too. Yeah, Dodger was cool. All the Battle Force are cool. There's nothing wrong. Gunpowder Nitro. You're entitled to like what you like. Uh, so that's it. I think. What else is going on? I'm trying to think of everything so I can make sure I cover it all before I go. Um, so yeah, we're going to be going into 2025 on our next videos after we do the HasLab Dragonfly. So we're almost caught up. We're about a year behind on reviews. We started 5 years behind. Now we've caught up to a year behind. And there's a lot of good stuff that came out in 2025. So I'm really, really looking forward to all that cool stuff. But it's probably 100 different items that I have to go through with figures, vehicles, play sets, vintage package, retro package, legacy, and all the cool figures that came out. It's going to be a really good year to go through. Dodger was awesome too. Only Dodger survived the battle of Benzine. Oh, okay. Dodger Blaster Blocker. So those are the only ones that survived. I'm sorry, that stinks. But yeah, I don't know. They did a lot of, I think, a lot of blockers and blasters figures. There, 3 or 4 of them. At least they got redecoed. 2 or 3 of those guys got redecoed a bunch of different times. The guy at the local store here ate the same way when I tried to buy his Dragonfly and Rattler. Oh, I'm sorry. Differ. Will R 7284 differ? What do you mean differ? I have the Battle Force 2000 figures when I was a kid. Yeah, I have them all. I have all the vehicles. I have all the figures and stuff like that. I don't have a problem with them. I just think I'm trying to think of put myself in the shoes of Hasbro and the classified team of what they may do, and that's all I can say. The Force 2000 figures, I loved them when I was a kid. There you go. See, people did like them. Arc, will Terry have figures in 2026? That's something you're going to have to talk to Terry about. G.I. Joe 66 Delta, 17 3D Joes, because it's not easy to make toys. And there's a lot of people making toys. He wants to get stuff made, but, I don't see that happening this year, but you would have to ask him when we do our Sunday Toy Talk Live episodes. Come on and ask him and see what he says. I don't want to speak for him. I just don't see us having figures by the end of 2026, maybe 2027. But like I said, it's not my thing, it's his, so I don't want to speak for him. But yeah, I would love to get some ARC figures and stuff. I know a lot about that concept and what he's doing, and it's excellent. It's phenomenal, and he's putting a lot of effort and energy into it and make it very, very cool for all you guys. that want to get involved with it. Flea markets and garage sales are the best places to buy vintage action figures, playsets, and vehicles. I agree with you. I think that's a really good place. Also, conventions. Because the aftermarket is a tough place. You can go to a lot of the stores and their aftermarket prices are a little high. So yeah, go to conventions. You can get some good deals. Go to flea markets and yard sales and stuff like that. You can get a lot of good deals as well. And there's a lot of that sort of stuff all over the South. So have an enjoyable time doing that. I do it all the time. What time you going live tomorrow? Gunpowder Nitro, probably around 9:30 because this is going to be a very long review. It's going to take me a while to get through all this because there are 4 figures to review. There's putting this guy together, reviewing the package, reviewing it, and playing with it and looking at it. It's going to take me a long time to go through that. So it's going to be a very long video. So if you have a lot of time, please join me. Skeletron will have more too. Oh yeah, they're gonna be doing the Yeti. I think it's the Yeti. That's the Bob Brecken Yeti figure. No, it's not the Bob Brecken Yeti figure. It's the gentleman that passed away this past year. He's a big guy in the community. He was involved in the Coil Con, stuff like that. I cannot think of his name off the top of my head, but he just passed away about a year ago, and the Yeti is inspired based on him. And there'll be some other stuff too, other versions of the 4-inch and stuff like that. And who knows what they have to show for the future, because Skeletron's doing some incredible stuff. They are a great company. Ben Conway and Marco Byrne and everybody that's working there, they do a really good job. And I can't say enough about that company. And I enjoy all the work that they've done. Do you know how many Cobra vehicles do they have released? Yeah, I could probably figure it out. So let's see. We have the first vehicle was Serpentor's Air Chariot. So there's 1. Trouble Bubble was 2. Then the Python Trouble Bubble was 3. Then we have the Cobra Ferret, 4. We have the Stingers, 5. We got the Hiss Tank, 6. We got the Claw, 7. The Snake Armor, 8. The Arctic Assault Hiss is 9. Let's see. The Rattlers, 10. What else? Cobra. Trying to think. Oh, we have the MMS or the HMS. That's 11. We got the Stinger. Did I say the Stinger already? I can't remember. That might be 12. Oh, the Coil Cycle. Yep. That's 13 with the Baroness. Yep. Let's see. Snake Armor's next vehicle on my list. Good luck with that one. I hope so. To Facebook Marketplace has the best deals for figures. They do have a lot of good stuff on Marketplace. I'm thinking, let's see. Right now it looks like 13 Terrence Childs, I think, for Cobra. R.I.P. Robert Paulson. Oh, I'm sorry about that, Robert Paulson. My condolences. Yeah, so there's 13 Cobra vehicles to this point. And if I'm not mistaken, there's going to be at least 7 or 8 new ones this year. Probably a HasLab, probably a Destro with his despoiler, probably the Water Moccasin, probably another Ferret, maybe a Cobra Ferret, a Swamp Skier, maybe a Fang. So those would be my bet if we get vehicles this year for Cobra, those 6. I'm hoping we get all those. I would hope we could also get the Night Landing. I would like that would be my 7th. So if we got all 7 of those this year, I would be ecstatic. And then depends on if you include Globulus with his floating orb or blob or whatever you want to call it with tentacles as a vehicle, that could be 8 vehicles this year, possibly. So that would bring us up to like 20, 21, depending upon how you classify a vehicle in GI Joe. But and that's just Cobra. I'm not even talking about GI Joe because I think we're going to get a shark and maybe a polar battle bear for GI Joe. I do think I kind of think GI Joe is a little bit maybe overpowered by Cobra because we counted 13 Cobras, right? So let's do the same thing for GI Joe. So the first GI Joe vehicle was the Ram with Breaker. Then we got the Tiger Ram, right? What was next for GI Joe? We got the Vamp. So then we got the Night Ram. It's 4. Let's see what else for GI Joe. We got obviously the Dragonfly, which is behind me. We're gonna get the Snowcat. We got the MMS. Got the Off Striker. It's 8. What other Joe vehicles are there? Yeah, I saw that. I would love to get that as a classified vehicle, but HasLab, whoo boy, would it be big. That one that guy did, man, it's big. I've watched those videos. They look awesome. I really want that as a classified vehicle. I'm only counting 8 GI Joe vehicles. What else is there? I'm not including play sets. What else am I missing? I'm only counting 8 Joe vehicles. 13 Cobra and 8 Joe. I think the Joe team is a little overpowered. I did that as a Cobra one. I did that as part of the Cobra one. GI Joe 66 Delta 17. I picked up the MMS. Looks cool. Yeah, it is. I'm trying to think of all the GI Joe ones. There's not any more GI Joe ones. I think 8 is it. We need more Joe vehicles, I think. Yeah, I think we need to do a lot more Joe vehicles this year. But based on what I just said, 8 Cobra vehicles possibly next year. And if we got some Joe vehicles, the Shark, the Battle Polar Bear, and what else? I don't know. There was a third vehicle I had in my. Oh, the Vamp Mark II, maybe. Possibly the Thunder Machine next year too, or this year I should say. The Thunder Machine, maybe as a MTS situation. So that might be 9 Cobra vehicles. So then the Cobras are really overpowering GI Joe, really overpowering them. We definitely need some more GI Joe vehicles. I think they should do the Locust. I love the Locust. It'd be a nice equal to the Trouble Bubble, the Locust. And I think we need to do the definitely the Vamp Mark II. I would like to get the Eco Striker for the Eco Warriors. I would like to get a couple of HasLabs. Maybe we'll get the Tiger Force, Tiger Fly, the Tiger Rat, the Tiger Cat. All those would be GI Joe because they all be Tiger Force. So maybe the GI Joes will take even it out next year. We'll see. Which is why we need a whale to level the playing field. Yeah, we definitely do. New York Knights. We definitely need another vehicle like that. Yeah, but those are all Tiger versions for the future. Nice coil. Call on the Locust. Yeah, I like the Locust. It's a nice, simple little vehicle that you can fit a figure in, have fun with it, and do an equal to the Trouble Bubble. And they said that when they were in Brazil. I think Emily or somebody said it while they were at one of their interviews. They said they wanted to try to counteract all the Cobra vehicles with a Joe counterpart. So that's why if we're going to get an Arctic Assault Hiss to go against the Snowcat, then we're going to need to have something to go against the Moray. If we get a HasLab Moray next year, we're going to need to have something water based to go against that. So you could be right, New York Knights. We may get the whale in 2027. We'll see. Be really nice if we got a whale, but God, is it going to be massive? I don't know if I'd be able to afford to get two. I've been getting two of everything, and that's why I'm opening one of everything up for this series of reviews. But it's going to be tricky. That is going to be tricky. Um, what was Cobra's purple double? Oh, that was called the Mamba. The Mamba. It'd be nice to get a Mamba to go up against the Dragonfly down the road. Maybe we get a Mamba. Who knows? I like the Mamba. I think it's a very unique vehicle and very different. No, Locust, unless it comes with the General. There's no way you're getting a General. If we're getting a Whale, then okay. But the Locust is way bigger than the Whale. It's like freaking huge. Man, New York Knights, you want the world, don't you? Oh my God. Let's start small and work our way up. It's getting more expensive to buy toys as the years go by. You want the bigger stuff as we get more expensive. Holy smokes, New York Knights! Wow, I know there are people that want it, but it's a lot. It's a lot. I would like the battle tactical platform. I think that's a much more reasonable. And I've said this before. You've heard me give my spiel on the battle tactical platform because it could be folded up. All those legs could be folded into the thing. All the helipad. Just imagine the vintage one much bigger. And it could be a figure carrying case. So you can put your classified figures and you could do a weapons depot in there and the computer room and all the cool stuff. You can put the dragonfly or the shark or something can land on it. Maybe you can include a locust. It could include with it as one of the unlocks as a unlock for it tiers. That would be cool to get the Locust with the battle tactical platform. Change the deco slightly, make it more white with some red, make it a rescue helicopter. I think, oh my God, I'm just salivating just talking about all the cool stuff that you could do with that. And it's something that you can fold up and put it on the shelf. Whereas the whale, you can't do that. Defiant confirmed. Defiant. Oh man, if we did a Defiant, now that would be a HasLab. I think we could do that. The Conquest shuttle. I think we could do that as a HasLab. It wouldn't have the gantry and stuff like that, but I think it would. It could work as a HasLab. The Conquest. That's just my gut. Does Beachhead figure still come with the C4 on his chest? Yes, he does. The vintage one, I think, does. I don't know about the other two versions, the Night Force or the regular version. I don't think they do. The vintage one does. Night Raven would be off the oh my God, the Night Raven. See, I have a theory on the Night Raven. So if you remember in the early 2000s, they reworked the Tomahawk, and they reworked the Sky Striker, and they made them so they could come apart, and they made them so they were where you had to build them in a certain way. I think if they did that with the Night Raven and made it where it could come apart and you could build it and stuff like that, you might be able to get away with the Night Raven. I don't know. That's just a theory I've had for the Sky Striker and the Night Raven. If we're going to get both of those, they're going to have to work out the engineering so they can come apart. I'm here for the Defiant. Woo boy. Yes, I am too. If New York Knights wants the whale, then I'm there for the Defiant. So there you go. Got Dave Sullivan. Yeah, I do love this stuff. I want all of it, but it's so. It's in the dream realm. We're getting into dream realms now instead of classified HasLabs, which were things that we would never get in the normal line. Now we're getting in the dream realm that would be impossible to get. If it can't be repackaged and resold, they won't do it. There you go. I think you could do the Conquest twice because there are several different Conquests that have been released over the years, 3 decos of the Conquest. So that's something that can be redecoed. So you're right on the money when it comes to that, Todd C. And you're a new person in the chat. Thank you for joining us because that's what it comes down to. Has to be repackaged and be able to be redecoed down the line for Classified or HasLab to do it, to make their money off those molds. If New York Knights, I'm clearing my driveway now for a shuttle complex. You are crazy, New York Knights. ITD, be the size of a VW bug. You got it. Oh my God. If they did that, oh my God, it would take us a year to pay that off. Holy cow. It'd be like your mortgage payment to get that if we got a Defiant shuttle complex. It'd be bigger than the chair that I'm sitting in. It'd be incredible. Oh my God. You guys are crazy in the chat. I really appreciate all the excitement and enthusiasm. I have the same excitement, same enthusiasm that you guys do, but I definitely have a little bit more reservations on certain things. Certain things I think we can get. Tomahawk, I think we can get that. Moray, I think we can get that. Battle tactical platform, Mamba, yes. Havoc, yes. Conquest, yes. The Thunder Machine, the Stun, Sergeant Slaughter's Triple T, those are all things. A tank, some sort of a tank HasLab with a bunch of modular parts where it can be multiple different tanks. Yes. All those things, I think we can get all that stuff. Sky Striker, yes. Ravens pushing it. Whales pushing it. Slugger. I think we can get a Slugger, but I think if they did the Slugger, it would be a modular turret, part of a tank HasLab. And I'm not sure if you've heard me talk about this. Several of these guys in the chat have heard me talk about this before. Now hear me out. A tank body, a HasLab tank body with like 6 turrets. The Mobat turret, the Mauler turret, the Wolverine turret, the Slugger turret, the Bridge Layer turret, the Sergeant Slaughter's Marauders. I can never remember the name of it, but it's got that awesome turret with all these guns and everything and cannons. 6 turrets, 6 unlocks with panels for every two unlocks. You get different colored paneling that you could hook to the tank. Drab green, camouflage, drab khaki, and maybe even the Sergeant Slaughter's Marauders colors, possibly. Paneling that you can put on that, and 4 different drivers. Another Steeler, the guy that comes with the Mauler, the guy that was a repaint of the guy that came with the Mauler, that was a mail order guy. I can never remember his name. He's got the 4 o'clock shadow, and he's a bit of a deco rechange of the deco of that guy. Maybe do those 3 figures and do somebody else, maybe another Sergeant Slaughter, who knows. So that's my HasLab idea for the Slugger, Willar. So I would love that, and I would love that as a HasLab. Okay, I'll scale down. How about a Thunderclap then? Thunderclap, that's scaling up, New York Knights. The Bridge Layer never had a turret. No, but it had that apparatus that came from the thing that folded. So you would need to have that apparatus for the Bridge Layer to come off. So that's what I'm talking about. All those things that are on top of tanks have them as unlock tiers, and you could clip them onto the top of the tank, and then you could have every one of those vehicles, all 6 of those vehicles. As long as we keep buying the high dollar vehicles, I don't see Hasbro letting up. Yeah, you're right about that, Gunpowder Nitro. You're right about that. Tiger Force colors too. Yep. we're definitely going to be getting probably the Rattler next year. Not the Rattler, the Tigerfly will be next year's MTR ordering in December sometime. Heavy Metal, that's his name. Yep, you got it. Thank you very much. Um, is there a new version of the Wolverine? No, there's never been a new version. There might have been a Ramen Toys version. I can't recall. I think one of the third party groups did a Wolverine somewhere in this whole thing, and I can't remember who it was. Maybe one of the guys in the chat will remember who did that Wolverine. It's pretty big. So you want it an all-in-one vehicle. Yeah, I think that's the only way to do it, because what are they going to do? Then in 3 years, they'll release that same tank with a different turret, and then 3 years later, another turret, and another turret, and another turret. No, do it all in one. And then because you can buy 5 HasLabs at a time, you can buy 5 tanks. And that's whatever expense it costs for the whole thing. And everyone's a different tier. If you want to cut out the 6th one, the Sergeant Slaughter Marauder one, and then just do the Mobat, the Mauler, the Bridge Layer, the Slugger, and the Bridge Layer, there's your 5 tanks. That's my theory. I would love that. I think that's the way to go. Best channel, hands down. Wow, thank you, Gunpowder. There's a lot of channels out there. They do some really good stuff. They're a lot more polished, so I have to give some of them props. You know, I really like a lot of those channels, and I do watch a lot of those channels, and I do enjoy them. So, you know, I give the respect to them. They were there in the YouTube space before me. Yes, I've been doing this interviewing and talking about G.I. Joe and talking about all this stuff way longer than them. Since probably early 2000, I've been doing interviews at conventions and talking to comic book creators, writers, and directors of comics and stuff like that. And then I rolled into the G.I. Joe realm in Facebook, the Facebook space, and did that for a good 10 years before I came into YouTube. So I've been doing it a lot longer than most of those people, but they've been in the YouTube space longer than me. I'm going on 2 years now for my channel. So, you know, it is what it is. So give those guys props. Toy Kind of Mood, Shark News, Full Force, you know, all those guys, Circle of Jerks, Punk with Toys, who is going to come after me. All those guys have been around doing YouTube a lot longer than me, so I respect them all very much. Let's see. Hasbro could make one main body that they can add to, so you can get a new tank every 4 to 6 months. That might be a way to do it. Just do the same body and then just release a different tank every 6 months. That's a way to do it. Not HasLabs. That's a theory. That's a good theory, G.I. Joe. But there would need to be some reuse, because they're not going to do it without it. That's the key, and that's the word of the day, guys, in this chat, in this channel for today. Reuse. I don't watch its chat anymore. I have no respect for that guy. He can't joke around with people unless it's his own inner circle. Yeah, he's an acquired taste. I've had him as an interview on here. I do like him, and I appreciate what he's done for our country and his serving and stuff like that, and his wife serving and stuff like that. But he is definitely an acquired taste. So to each their own, I say, and there's nothing wrong with that. Cobra Lang is really good and cool toys and things. Oh yeah, and What's on Joe Mine? I totally forgot about those guys. They're a really nice group of guys as well. Great channels. Yeah, there are a lot of great channels in this space. I think the key is someone very important to the G.I. Joe community that I interviewed. One of my second interview that I ever did in the G.I. Joe space a few years back told me, he says, find your lane, stick to your lane and don't veer from your lane. And that's what I've done. I've tried to stay in my lane, and all those channels, they have their own lanes, and I respect them all for what they've done. So I don't take anything away from them. But I really appreciate you guys coming here and enjoying what I'm doing and seeing the enthusiasm, seeing the excitement, and how I'm going forward with this channel. And it's friends. You guys are friends. I want you guys to enjoy this and be part of it. And it's like hanging out on the weekends and hanging out after school with all people of like minded folks like me when I was young. That's what I look at this. Now I'm old, and now I have all my friends with me again. So that's how I look at it. Yeah, what's on Joe Mind? They're great. I really enjoy those guys. The Arazaris and stuff like that. Yep. And then articulated points are awesome too. Patrick Stewart and I can't think of the other guy's name. Sorry. Toy Connections, Ken Delta 17. Yep, does a very good job. You're right. There's a lot of good channels out there. It's hard to watch everything, but I try to keep up with most of it, and I hope that my space is enjoyable to the people that do come here, because that's what it's here for. The lives are the best. Thank you very much. Robert Paulson was from Fight Club. His name was Robert Paulson, R.I.P. Ah, okay, I see. All right, so I'm going to probably close this out so you guys can go and check out Punk with Toys. Give him my best. Joburg, G.I. Joburg is a good channel too. I've not heard of that channel. I'll have to check it out. Woody, who's on here, has a great channel. He does some really good reviews. Woody222. And then I think it's 610 Yojo Daddy also has some stuff that he does. So both of those guys do some really good reviews as well. So if you guys have a chance, check them out. And then, of course, we have Toy Talk Live on Sundays at 2 o'clock. Watch Fight Club. It's a good movie you will enjoy. I watched Fight Club when it first came out years ago, probably 25 years ago. Came out in the late 90s, early 2000s. Fight Club with Brad Pitt. Yeah, and the guy that was the Incredible Hulk in the second Incredible Hulk movie. I can't think of his name, but yeah. Delta 17, I was thinking that just I didn't want to disrespect the dead. So all right, guys, thank you again, everybody in the chat. Thank you for joining me on this. Ed Norton, yeah, there you go, Will R, appreciate it. Like I said, like, share, subscribe, hit the notification, and I appreciate it. That's how we're going to grow this channel. Night, guys. I'm going to go start wood carving my shuttle complex. New York Nights, you're so funny. LMAO. All right, guys. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. Thank you, everybody, for joining me in the replay crew. I really appreciate it. That helps the algorithm. It helps us grow. And give my best to Punk with Toys. Tell him I said hello. And you guys have a good night. We'll see you next time. Thank you very much. And this is going to be a really weird one because we got a Cobra and a Joe. So we're just going to go with Yo Joe. See you guys later. Later, y'all.